Well, yesterday, the global Sumud Flotilla held a first press conference, and this is ahead of the Spring 2026 mission in Johannesburg yesterday. This was held at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Now, the purpose of this mission is to assemble the largest civilian maritime initiative to date aimed at delivering aid to the people of Palestine. And the aim this time around is to get 3,000 participants from over 100 countries sailing on 100 vessels. The Salam Media team was present at this press conference yesterday, where there were various voices and speakers: Mandla Mandela, Thiago, Ávila, Frank Chikane, Ahmed, Ghnais, Saif, Abukeshek, all of them are world-renowned and global names and household names that we've become used to associated with the global Sumud Flotilla. So what we will do is play out what had actually transpired in some of the thoughts and discussions that were taking place at the Mandela Foundation with this press conference ahead of the launch of the Spring 2026 Global Sumud Flotilla.
Flotilla in 2025, we showed that it is possible to speak truth to power, to not abide by the oppressive and hateful regimes of our generation. It is possible to mobilize and even to push their plans to have to find a different situation. We pushed Trump to give up on saying that he will displace Palestinians to Egypt or to Jordan or to Eritrea or South Sudan or Somaliland to start to say that he wanted peace. He never really wanted peace. He just could not handle the global uprising of people mobilizing everywhere and disrupting their plans. But our task is incomplete. Imperialism and Zionism, they're very, very smart. So from a situation where they could not handle the global uprising, they start to confuse people, saying that there was a ceasefire, says that they had a board of peace to promote a solution for that land. But that was never their intention. Their intention was to confuse and put people into numbness, not to mobilize. And we will not fall for that. The people, the free people of the world understand that Palestine is still suffering for the last 8 decades. Genocide and ethnic cleansing, an apartheid colonial state, and this hateful, racist and supremacist ideology called Zionism. We need to defeat that. We need collectively to show side by side with the Palestinians in their long walk to freedom. And we'll never stop. So our next Global Sumud Flotilla mission will have over hundreds of boats, over thousands of people to say that until we achieve real peace, which means the Palestinians have their sovereignty, their self-determination, the right to have the same rights as every other children in the world, which they deny to Palestinian children, will not stop mobilizing. So we are preparing the biggest mission ever attempted in solidarity with the Palestinian people in Gaza. We will have together not only the boats, but a land convoy coming from Northern Africa, and we have a global uprising. So we're expecting and encouraging and mobilizing for general strikes, massive demonstrations, boycott campaigns, grassroots work all around, because the decisive battle of our generation has arrived, and we will not fail with this objective. We will prevail because we know that all the people, when they start this march against colonization and for their freedom, they achieve it. And we're sure the Palestinian people will be free, and we want to be side by side with them in solidarity, because the fate of the Palestinian people will be the fate of all humanity. And we need to make sure that this fate is of joy, of happiness, of love, of respecting their community and solidarity. That's why we will never stop sailing. When governments fail, we will continue sailing, and we will be victorious.
This historic announcement and the Global Flotilla mission being here in South Africa is happening at the backdrop of some very dramatic turn of events in the country. Last week in particular, Abukeshek, the visit he facilitated of the Israeli embassy. He came out and said the expulsion of the Israeli charge d'affaires, Errol Sedman, from the country is an attack on his names, an attack on the Abatembu people. As a member of the traditional leaders' house of the Eastern Cape, how do you respond to that, and how do you respond to how DECO dealt with the whole visit, how to respond to how the Eastern Cape provincial government also responded to it.
Well, let's first be clear on this issue that His Majesty King Zwelibanzi Buyele Khaya Dalindyebo, just like any other South African, enjoys the constitutional right. It is his right to have freedom of association and freedom of movement. And therefore, in that regard, he's simply exercising his right. But I've said that we also know that the likes of the United Kingdom under Margaret Thatcher regime and the United States under the Ronald Reagan administration supported the apartheid regime to the hilt. And they have been judged harshly by history. And in this account, we as South Africans know truly what it means having lived under 350 years of colonialism and 60 years of a brutal apartheid regime. We can therefore never, having been supported by the international community and ordinary men and women across the globe in isolating apartheid South Africa and realizing our freedom, being beneficiaries of international solidarity. It says to us we need to continue to be a voice of the oppressed and the most vulnerable. And therefore, in this regard, we want to thank and support the decision that has been undertaken by DECO, because every embassy and ambassador that is in any sovereign state has to adhere to certain protocols. And when you are in violation of those protocols, you will be asked to leave the country. So DECO is exercising their mandate. But it has been a long overdue call. If you will recall that many of us, as far back as 2014, with the DSG then being Jesse Duarte, we used to march to the Israeli embassy with the president of the Women's League, Batabile Lamini, and we would call for the Israeli embassy to be shut down and the ambassador to be expelled out of South Africa. So we fully support the Eastern Cape provincial government and our national government for their stance
on what seems to be the Israeli embassy's infiltration of rural black South African neighborhoods to try and gain favor from them. Largely, it seems because of the government of the day's service delivery failures. They're promising people water, they're promising to fix schools, they're promising to pave roads and build bridges. And I think it's clear. Your comment on that?
Well, my approach is very simple. We must start from the fact that counter-revolutionary forces captured the government and also captured the African National Congress because they did it within. And that's why the African National Congress was not able to get the government to deliver the services. We have worked very hard to get rid of those elements. I'm one of those who have been working very hard. And we have reached a stage where we're doing renewal of the organization. We're focusing on service delivery. We're going to make sure that service delivery happens in this country. I've just dealt with a matter in Tlhabane in Rustenburg. We're getting reports, we're getting calls, and we're getting the machinery to go and make sure we deliver. Because failure to deliver empowers the reactionary forces. And that's why Israel then goes there against the law, because they shouldn't actually have done that, against the law, and abuse ordinary poor people in that regard to get them look like they support the brutality in Gaza. It can't be. The people of South Africa can't support that type of brutality.
Hello, I'm Ahmed from Maghreb Sumud, a part of GSF, one of the 4 initiatives that made the GSF. We are launching the greatest mission, the greatest sea mission. On very soon we will announce the dates. It's going to be the biggest mission because it's not only a sea mission. It's a sea mission, it's a land mission, and we're also trying to add the third part, which is an air mission. So now it's going to be more than 100 ships from all around the world. It's going to be going out from Europe, more than port, from Africa, more than port in Africa, going from everywhere. Globally, the participants are globally from South America, North America, from Africa, from Europe, from Australia as well. We have participants. So it's globally, it's very big, and it should do the biggest impact ever as we expected, inshallah.
This time compared to the last time, we have much time. So last time we had just 2 months to make that happen. A bit like we worked between recruitment, mechanical part, finding boats, just in 2 months. This time we are preparing since 4 months, since the last mission, and we grew as number of people, as structure. So we are preparing, we are already preparing all the boats in every port, and we have more, how you say, expertise. And so yeah, we are confident that we are going to have less problems. Anyway, the sea is always unpredictable. So yeah.
Why we are mobilizing. That's why we are talking about people movement from everywhere, because the fact that genocide is continuing in Palestine while there is an absolute silence in the media, where it's a complete complicity of so many governments, it is because those governments are enabling Israel. It is impossible for any person to imagine that powerful governments all around the world are not able to force just peace in Palestine, are not able to force an opening for Rafah or entrance of a humanitarian corridor. So when you come to talk about the decisions of different political governments, even the Peace Council, there are no Palestinians involved in this process. How are we talking about peace in Palestine without the Palestinians? How are we talking about peace without including the main rights of the Palestinian people? It does not talk about the right of return. It does not talk about the sovereignty. It does not talk about the right of the Palestinian people for freedom and liberation. And that's why we are people movement. We are not the politicians. We are not the governments, but we are sailing because those governments have continuously failed to do their main duty to protect human rights. Our call is to mobilize in all aspects: political spaces, people, unions, media, legal, all spaces are expected to act. Now, what will happen, as you mentioned, the second question is regard to the fundraising. This is a people movement. And while we are starting to prepare, as Tony has mentioned, we have more than 55 delegations all around the globe, part of this coalition, that are working together to make this a successful mission on land and on sea. As Chief Mandela mentioned, registration is open, and we call on everyone to go through our social media to register and also to support financially this mission, because it has to continue to be an independent mission by the
ambassador and close down the embassy. This has been the call of our parliament. How we would love to see members of parliament join us on this mission. It has been said that it is not only by sea, we will also mobilize by land. Now, let us be explicit on this, comrades, because in the last mission, over 30,000 of us registered for the mission. We procured 70 boats, of which only 48 finally were able to sail and were fit to sail, meaning that we had a reduced number, just under 500 comrades that could sail with us. But many of our comrades became land support. We therefore say that even this time around, if we are able to get 100 boats, maybe that can still limit us to 1,000 participants or 3,000 participants. But on land mission, we expect hundreds of thousands of you to sign up and to mobilize entry through Egypt, through Lebanon, through Jordan, and every other border that is feasible for us to get into occupied Palestine and to Gaza. The mission is not solely focusing on Gaza, but we are also clear of the violations that we have been witnessing in occupied Palestine in the West Bank. And therefore we want to mobilize the entire global community to join forces with us and accompany us and ensure that we are able to stop the genocide in real time. They speak about a ceasefire while on a daily basis, Palestinians are being bombed and killed. We count on you and we call on the respected members of the media to share this far and wide. Your fellow comrades and colleagues in the media have been bombed and killed in Gaza, almost totally eliminated. And we count on them daily to share the news, capture the atrocities of this genocide and ethnic cleansing that we are witnessing on real time, and through the electronic intifada and social media, we get it out in real time.